Wait, did you put the heat down? Cause
yeah, put it down. Right? Put it down 1 degree.
Okay, cool. I know. I just want to make sure because I remember Myrna was complaining about that heat. She was hot when she was sitting here.
Well, she probably was drinking.
Yes, girl. She was drinking.
Welcome to 298, where we talk about anything and anybody with no judgment, with different lenses about what should and can be done and said. I'm your host, Ajax, and today we have our returning home team person, Mrs. Ajax.
Yes.
Today we have our guest, Bianca. You also go by, what's your handle?
Unforgettable B.
Unforgettable B. And as you, of course, may notice, we're missing somebody today. Shout out to Ra. We'll see him next time around. How we doing?
We're doing great.
Yeah?
We're doing fantastic.
So this is it.
Yeah.
So this is it. Yeah. So it's good. What's going on?
Nothing, just going.
Just chilling?
Just chilling.
All right. So with that being said, let's jump right into it.
Is this the first show of the new year?
No.
No?
No. Remember I put out the last episode with
I know.
Rana?
I think that was shot before.
It was shot before.
Right.
And you know what? That show definitely did shock me.
Why?
Why? Because it was like
chill. Okay.
It was chill, and I know like. I don't know. He's not a chill, he's not a chill person. So it was like a chill conversation. It wasn't like, disturbing or anything.
I'm still trying to compute what's happening. Okay.
Bianca's expecting disturbing things from you right
now. No, but it's never like a bad thing. It's just that he's like, it's exciting.
Right.
But it's different. And I just got to prepare for the difference. So.
Damn sure is. Okay. So, I guess it's probably better for me to start off this topic being a guy, right? So, you're single.
I am.
Right. You have a son. How's your son, by the way?
He's good.
He's good. So now check this out. If you met with a celebrity, right? Who would be your dream celebrity to meet?
Mel.
Yeah.
Honey, I am a celebrity. That's number one.
All right.
And secondly, no, seriously, that's not something that I sit there and think about.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
Okay, so if you had to meet a male celebrity right now that you adore or wouldn't mind, if...
See, I don't adore any celebrities.
I know that's right.
Okay.
I don't.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
I agree.
I would never
I
that person to really, oh my gosh, I gotta be with this person. I feel like we're all on the same plane.
You just have a job and people
right.
appreciate you for your job. I feel the same way.
So I
feel
am
the same way.
You're a celebrity, he's a celebrity, we are all celebrities.
But there is some people that are in different status, so...
I don't do that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get your starstruck either. But, if there is somebody on the opposite, end of, I guess we would say, living or whatever, who would it be?
Who would have a chance with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. Do it, girl.
Let me think about that. Because I don't think about these
Okay,
things.
so then, that's fine. That's cool. So how about this?
Can I just say something? You want to know what's so funny? I 100% agree with you.
No, seriously.
I do.
I know she does. She's so cute. She does.
I do. I never understood the process of getting starstruck by seeing someone. Like when I see people that I'm like, oh, as like a male, like, oh, this person is attractive, whatever. It's generally a fictitious character.
Right.
Like you see, like, I like Jon Snow. Do you know what I mean?
You like the character that they're portraying.
But I don't like Kit Harington, the actor.
Right.
When he's like out of being Jon Snow, it's like, ooh, no.
Right.
But as Jon Snow, I'm like, oh my God, he's so brave. Like, you know what I mean? So you end up finding that. But I can't imagine like being gaga over anybody.
Right.
Like we've seen celebrities, like when we've
seen
been in the city,
countless.
we've been in Hamptons, wherever we've been, like we've seen celebrities, like we've not been moved. So I never.
And I don't think that we should be moved.
I mean, it's fine for people. It's fine.
I think you can acknowledge their accomplishments.
Yeah,
and you can, give them, their accolades,
their
whatever.
flowers.
But you know what? Sometimes there's artists, actresses, actors that play a certain role or make a certain song that moves you deeply, that you feel like, you have an appreciation for this person. But that's besides the point. So, what do you guys think? Well, would you go as far as if you did sleep with a celebrity to trying to have their kid?
Would I try to do that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. So,
So,
what do you think about the girl that allegedly that slept with Drake and waited for him to come out the bathroom, went back into the bathroom. A few minutes later, she's screaming. Drake runs in to see what happens, and she said, basically, well, she was telling, I guess, the hospital or whatever, that it felt like she had hot lava in her vagina.
Oh my goodness.
So what happens is that she went to the garbage and unraveled the condom that he threw in there. When she put hot sauce in.
He put hot sauce.
He put hot sauce in.
So after he takes off the condom, allegedly, he puts hot sauce in it.
Right.
And then close it back up.
Oh, right.
Because he knew what her move
he
was
knows.
He doesn't know what she was going to do.
It probably has happened to him.
Right.
But he's avoiding that from happening. So he's trying to kill the sperm at the same time, see who you are.
What kind of shenanigans?
Or maybe that's his way of, like, I'm sure he does not want to walk around with a soiled condom.
Right.
However, he also doesn't want to, like, be responsible for a child that he didn't make a choice to have.
Okay.
So for him to terminate the sperm, somebody was like, "Oh, if you want to terminate sperm, just put hot sauce," and that's what he did.
That's ridiculous.
But I know
what's
a
ridiculous?
lot of
putting the hot sauce in the condom.
No, it's a known thing that's a scheme allegedly that a lot of these women do. Whether it's a basketball player, whether it's an athlete,
or
whether it's a
somebody of status,
that they'll have sex, right? And they will. Oh my God, that reminds me of that show we watched where she was giving him head. She's giving him the athlete head. She's giving the athlete head. He comes in her mouth and she's like, she pretends to grab the champagne bottle. She spits it out, caps it.
Oh my goodness.
Goes back, puts it in the hallway. Somebody picks it up.
What were you guys watching?
That was like that HBO show. Nonetheless, it's that HBO show. I forgot. Ballers. But I feel like, obviously, art imitates life. Life imitates art. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, this is something that's happening where women feel this level of need to do this. So, they're going by any means necessary to get themselves pregnant by these men.
I think it's very opportunistic.
She made a L move right there. Right.
It's very opportunistic to do something like that and very selfish, because what you're doing is you're trying to get yourself pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to sue this person, which in most cases, she probably can win, because the fucking judiciary system in this country could be sometimes skewed, right? I'm trying to find the proper way of saying it.
They're doing it.
Which is crazy, but I don't understand. So now, no, it's not even Ken. If she did get pregnant, no, she didn't. So at this point, she's suing Drake. Is she though? I don't know if she's suing him.
Let's ask a real question. Do you really think that Drake was shocked about her doing this to him?
I'm sure.
I'm sure he's not shocked. No, I'm not. That's not even a fact. I don't even think he's shocked.
I'm sure he got schooled to the game, and somebody was like, "Boy, you better make sure you have a bottle of hot sauce every time."
But first of all, my thing is, you're unraveling a condom. You don't see the red hot sauce in there. When was the last time you saw a red sperm in a condom?
Like, these girls, you don't know what she was on.
No.
To say,
allegedly.
Like, you don't.
I'm sure she's been playing around.
People are that desperate,
but we don't know. Like, hot sauce comes in light colors too. They be making.
What colors have you? Listen,
Pickles is like.
You said pickles?
Yeah, pickles.
Oh,
like, and that.
Pickles is a Haitian spice, in case anyone is wondering.
Wait.
That habanero will destroy the sperm.
You might have a little verde, right? Verde is not really spicy, so you don't have to worry about that. But anything that's red and anything that's spicy is usually red.
I'm sure Drake
He
isn't
was-
using Frank's Red Hot. I'm sure he's using something else.
I mean, you could put that shit on anything though, but she is suing him. She's suing him for damages. So it's not even fair. I mean, what do you think? Is it?
It's not fair to who? Him?
It's not fair to him. Why is she suing him for damages when he's not the one that said
I
go
would
over
not have
it?
taken it seriously, honestly. Like the whole story sounds ridiculous, to be honest. It does. It sounds ridiculous. If you're going into court with it, it sounds ridiculous to me.
It's not that ridiculous because a couple years ago, a cleaning lady at a hotel is cleaning a room and she looks in the garbage and finds
but she knew who was living in. She knew who was in the hotel room. It's a tech millionaire from Silicon Valley.
Right.
So she knew he has the suite. He's a millionaire.
She finds
Silicon
a bed
Valley.
receipt.
She sees the condom. What do you think she does? The cleaning lady.
She injects herself with it.
She injects herself.
So now she's pregnant. 2 years later, she took him to court for child support and she wins.
Okay, that's a little bit more intense.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing. Okay, so I see what you're saying on why it will be the same thing.
It is the same thing. You went to the
But
garbage.
the hot sauce is like a factor into like this whole Drake situation.
No,
it just sounds like
the
kind
point
of like
is
ridiculous to me.
Go ahead. I want to hear your side. Go ahead.
It just sounds ridiculous to me.
That he did it, or that she went to the extreme to try.
And
to
she went to the
impregnate herself?
extreme.
Oh yeah, they both
doing
are
that.
extreme in trying to impregnate.
Like, what did he
themselves.
expect? And then, you know, I'm sure that she knew. Like, she had to hear about this whole hot sauce shenanigan.
No, I'm sure she
I don't
didn't.
think she didn't
She-
because if she did, she would look at the condom before she put it in, before she put it inside. Because look, you would see and smell the hot sauce.
First of all, I feel like.
But,
This is
okay,
what a lot
so
of
no,
girls do.
absolutely not.
What? Absolutely not. What?
No.
What?
Okay, so they have intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
He ejaculates, it goes into the condom,
Yeah.
and he puts it into the garbage can.
He goes into the bathroom, wraps,
Right.
he ties it, puts
So
it.
in no way, because Drake, if you see me, there's no way here that I myself would see him as being liable for what happened to her.
Right, I agree.
Because he, you know, he's done doing what he's doing. They
Right.
both, you know, consent to that.
Right.
Right.
He takes it off and he ties it like you guys. When he gets the hot sauce, ties it,
Right,
which
right.
means that I'm done.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, I'm discarding this.
Right.
Puts it out of the garbage can, and she goes ahead. If you're going ahead and you're digging out of the garbage can to take it, now you're looking for something to, you know,
Right,
Right.
so she's looking for that.
Right.
So he's not looking, you know, so it's not on him now. You went into the garbage can.
Right.
You went looking for this and you injected
Right.
Because
yourself.
she is
Right.
certainly not the first woman to do this. And then, you know, what
Right.
happens, what they say is like, oh, the condom must have broke. Right? So they don't, like, these women are very intelligent in their scheming.
Okay, the
Yeah, but
condom
if the
would have
condom
broke,
broke, then you would
it
have
would've
the
been
hot sauce right there.
Right.
No.
Unless he's squirting hot, whatever
Well, I'm saying
freaky
is
stuff that they got going on
she's
now.
not the first woman to do this. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm sure. I'm
like
sure.
one of her homegirls probably like,
Somebody,
girl, this
yeah.
is what you got to do. Right? I'm sure. Like, a few celebrities who have children that they didn't plan for
Right.
with women who they might deem unsavory or who they wouldn't marry.
But check this out though.
Like, I'm sure.
What does your image look like at this point? Like, look, okay,
You
boom.
think she
If
cares?
there was no hot sauce,
Her.
bruh, you went to the garbage
Right.
to get
Right.
sperm
Do you think she cares?
to get pregnant by somebody
That's
of status
pretty
just
ridiculous.
so that you could live this Instagram lifestyle.
That's
Do you
pretty
think she
ridiculous.
cares? She's more concerned about making sure she gets that check a month. And
That's
that
pretty
child,
ridiculous.
So she's
unfortunately, would
unfit.
just be a pawn of her end game.
Right.
Like, her end game is like, okay, allegedly, this is Drake, which means I'm probably going to get $100K a month.
Right.
And so she's like, my life is about to change.
Right.
And so for her, she's just thinking like, I hate to like make it like they sound
No.
like that.
Right.
Too late. You got the whole show.
Like, I'm just saying, but the thing is, that's the narrative, right? Like, if you go on Instagram, the narrative of like these like women, that's what it is. And so what you have is you got a whole population of these women all wanting the same thing.
Mhm.
Like, like social
They
media
all
By
wanted
any
the
means
same
by
necessary.
thing.
any means necessary.
Right, they're wanting the same thing, and then you have the people, these celebrities are giving them the opportunity to do so. So not only do they have these situations, right? The celebrities know about these people, about these women that are looking for, to come up,
Right.
So if you're providing to them the opportunity to do so, then at what point, at what point are you gonna you have to ask yourself, why do these celebrities not deal with or sleep with these women that's on their own level?
Right.
Maybe they have, but there's probably regular people that look good that whatever.
But you find a girl who's attractive on Instagram, right? She doesn't have the status as you, right? But she may be she may be cute, whatever. She may got a couple of likes, whatever, a couple thousand likes, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, and then you go ahead and proceed to go speak to her, tell her to meet you outside of the room. You fly her out to whatever. What do you expect?
Right.
What do you expect?
A good time.
I would go to the extent if I was a man. What do you expect? I'm dealing with this girl. I don't know what status that she was on. I don't know what she got going on Instagram. But I would go to the extent because I know that there's opportunities that's out there. These girls are literally looking for come-ups anyway. Like, you blow. Whatever it is.
By any means necessary.
Okay? And so why not Drake? Right? Take the condom. Not even leave it in her presence because this is things that people do. Isn't that crazy? But you know how they used to do it? You could flood, whatever that you gotta do.
I'll tell you what, that hotel would have a high plumbing bill because that
Well,
condom's going straight down the toilet.
What happened to that?
If it blows up and blows a pipe, you know what? I'd rather pay the pipe bill
But
than
you ain't
pay
getting
this
this
18-year-old bill. Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't even understand why you can't just take the condom, open the faucet. It's probably gross, but just flush
The girl is, if she's going to the
it's
extent,
not a good idea.
if
to
she's
flush
going to
condoms.
the
I think it's
extent-
not
That's what I'm
good for the
saying. They would have a bill.
but if she's going to the extent of seeing red sperm and still trying to insert
But
it,
that's how dumb she is. Though.
She
You
would've
didn't
took that-
see.
We don't know the color of the hot sauce.
Okay,
Look,
hot
maybe
sauce
if
has
you
always
said
been-
the color of the condom, I would say I agree with you. But the moment
I get it because hot sauce is red and sperm has okay.
No,
So-
no.
so the
We're not gonna
mixture
do that.
of
We're not
color-
gonna do
We
that.
don't know.
We're not gonna do that.
First of all, like I said, I
You
don't
have a
think
bright red sauce
I don't
with
think
a
he pulled
slight
out
whitish
Tabasco.
yellow hue.
But
I don't think he pulled out Tabasco and
It's
did
a
it.
mixture.
And first of all, I'm sure that he made sure that he put some potent ghost pepper.
Right.
She said her shit felt like it was hot lava.
But that's her.
That's
I'm
almost-
sorry.
that ain't
I don't
habanero.
mean
That's
to.
almost-
Seriously, I'm not. I'm not in no judgment or trying to judge.
Straight
this
walking
girl
around with a hot chili.
or whatever the case is.
pepper.
But at the end of the day, that's on her.
It is.
To be
To be
on her.
honest, if you go to the extent, that is definitely you have to understand the generation now that's coming up. That is completely psychotic as hell.
It is.
Now,
that's a character.
You
Seriously.
said that there's a chance that she might win, right? And what?
No, I didn't say that. I feel like
Under what grounds? Was she
I feel
Did
like-
you say malicious intent or
I
something?
said if they're able to prove malicious intent.
How? Where you get malicious intent from?
What part of it?
I didn't intend for her to do
No,
that. I intended to put my condom
There's
in
two
the garbage.
things. To me, there's two things possibly, and I'm not an attorney. Like, if you can show, this is my practice, right?
Like you have a track record of putting hot sauce in
This is
condom.
what I do.
How you gonna do that?
You can just say this is what I do because I want to make sure in the past.
So then case closed,
You
right?
can
But
say
no.
you can say in
I
the
hear what you're
past
saying.
I've had women do this thing to me without my consent. So as a precaution, this is what I do, right? It's not a you thing.
But they're gonna be like, you know what? I still did okay. Bet I didn't get pregnant, but I still need to get paid for damages that was done to my rectum because of the hot sauce.
My rectum.
Not my rectum. You know what I'm saying?
That's the other.
That's the other end.
Okay.
Hot sauce damage. I'm still not responsible for that.
All I'm telling you is, like you said, the judicial system in this country.
Yeah,
is
him going as far as
very-
putting the hot sauce in it. He has an intent. He knows that she may come in here and try to take the condom out and do that. So that's where she may be getting her. Seriously, if he's going to as far as putting hot sauce in it, he knows that it's something that she may do.
Right.
So that's where she's coming from with that.
Okay, so if I put an alarm on the car, right?
Okay.
And as you get close to the car and the car goes beep, 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 right? That means yo, listen, we stand back protected by Viper, right?
Yeah. Now you're showing your age.
It's okay. But you take the car anyway. So that means you intended to take the car regardless of what warning signs were there. So now you grab the condom. It looks a little red.
That's not the same thing.
You
Hold
open
up.
it.
It's like this. If you literally put a Viper in your car and you go put it in a kind of seedy neighborhood because you know somebody's going to steal it, and somebody comes in and the Viper goes and that shows malicious intent.
No, it does not.
It does.
I forgot my pet Viper in the car.
Oh God!
You happen to be stealing my car because that's what you do.
I'm not saying.
So when does a repercussion happen for the person who's
Listen to me.
wrong?
Listen to me. I have the Haitian fingers out.
That's a church finger right there.
Listen to me.
That's a church finger. I need to go to the bathroom.
Ips. Okay. Yeah, that's me. Like she said, like Marie mentioned, the fact that he took the hot sauce, right? There's an intention there. Right. He took the hot sauce and he pours it into the condom, right? Mm-hmm. Drake, why did you pour the hot sauce into the condom?
Because I was trying to kill the sperm.
Yeah, if that's your practice, that's fine.
Just to make sure that nobody would use my DNA to get anything done.
Right. I agree. So, there's nothing wrong with it.
So the hot sauce should have been a deterrent, like the example I was trying to give.
But we have other options that they used to do back in the day. You can we're not saying to flush the condoms, but you can flush the condoms.
I would have.
You can empty out the condom.
And I say empty.
You can even freaking empty it out, wash whatever you gotta do to take any residue of anything out.
You're in the
you can put whatever you gotta do. Put it out like a little bag. Bring a little Ziploc with you. If it's that deep, right? If it's that deep, bring Ziplocs with you. Put it inside of a Ziploc bag.
It's your
juice. And bring it home.
But she had to go in. It doesn't matter where. It wouldn't matter.
But you know what it
is?
is?
Anywhere that's
they're
inside.
Too lax. Let me tell you something. These celebrities, they're so like, these things just happen to them left and right.
They do.
You know, because they're so careless.
And here go one trying to avoid it, and yet he's
not trying to. Trying to avoid it. Trying to avoid it is going to the extreme. He went to the extreme by putting hot sauce, but he didn't go that far as taking it and bringing it with him. So when she was doing that, where was he at?
He went back into the room. She went to the bathroom after he came back out. Now this is what the story was.
We don't know what happened.
He comes out the bathroom.
Speculation.
And then she runs in. Right? A few minutes later, he hears her screaming.
Oh my God! Do you think he was just like laughing?
I would. I would be dying laughing like, wait a minute.
Like, what did he expect? He knew it was coming.
Oh my God!
He knew it was coming.
That had to be so painful.
He knew it was coming, and for me,
so then that will teach you: do not go into the garbage to do things that would hurt somebody else.
Why would I want to have a child? Was like, because you asked, like, would I get pregnant by a celebrity?
Right.
Why would I? Like, no, absolutely not. Like, and especially if I have to go to the extent of putting. Like, you know, taking the hot, like running to get his condom and putting it, like, there's no.
I don't think, and I don't know the person, by the way.
But she's definitely showing herself.
I don't think these people are pillars of moral character.
Okay, we can speak Creole, can we? Okay.
Like, I don't think
there's no morals whatsoever.
Right, I don't think these people are just like the community pillar of like a woman about her business.
Morals.
Like morals, character.
And I'm sure, Marie,
that's the last
that there's going to be someone else that will try the same shenanigans.
Oh, well, dang. Somebody's doing it right now.
They're doing it right now.
Right.
And so as crazy, psychotic as hell that this storyline sounds like, someone else out there right now at this very second as we speak is doing it right now.
I hope she doesn't win. I hope this case doesn't go any further than the judge's ear. Like, I'm not taking this case. And I hope it's a lesson to her and anybody else that's trying to do anything that, when you think about it, that's a malicious intent towards the person that you're trying to get.
I agree.
So he knew it was coming.
Moving
forward, that means that you have to please empty out your condoms. Please take a Ziploc bag with you,
or empty
put it in your pocket.
It's your juices.
Flush
Don't be afraid to touch
do what you got to do, because my thing is
it's
that
your juices.
if you're having sex with the person, because the risk is it's always there. Either the condom can break or whatever.
I know.
Whatever can happen. Seriously.
Facts.
So if you're having sex with the person, like, you got to be ready for whatever responsibility that comes along with it.
By the way, does this bitch even know she's ovulating? She's going through
at
all
the mindset.
That.
Okay, listen to me, because first of all, her actions doesn't even. But we have to ask, does she even know?
Do you know the amount of calculation? I hope this bitch was
First
ovulating,
of all,
because for her to be like, "Oh, I'm free tonight," like to make sure, you know what I'm saying, like that window period, because
Right.
if you weren't even ovulating and you were just out here just taking a chance and you don't know,
Maybe she was trying to put it in there to store it so she could leave with it, and then it just so happens that the shit ruptured,
I don't
and
think
then
so.
A person
I don't
to
think
me
so.
that goes that far and that limb to do that
As a
shenanigans
psychopath.
doesn't know. She probably doesn't even know about ovulation. To be honest, you have to really look at the person and say, "What the
Oh
hell
my
do you
God.
really know?"
I hope she was at least ovulating and that she was taking this chance, because like for me, like for
No, if he hits her up and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna fly you out," you gotta be like, ovulating or not. She's gonna do whatever she gotta do,
shit,
and
that's a
praying
lot.
and hoping to whomever she prays and hopes to that something goes down, and
Damn.
Shanique, somebody is coming out 9 months later.
you
Wait,
said,
did you say Shali?
Okay, so okay, sorry. It's a beautiful name. I
Uh-huh.
just that's what came. Oh
Actually,
my
no,
God, so
I know somebody named Charlie too.
Okay, so
Oh my God, you said
Shout out to Shirley.
shout out to Charlie.
Oh, you said
Okay.
Shali.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Anyway, whatever, I don't know. Can I transition to when I had the question?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So I had this question in speaking about that. And it was basically like, do you think our culture spends too much time right now focusing on obtaining
Mm-hmm.
relationships?
Are they spending too much time trying
Like,
to obtain relationships?
yeah, like, okay, think about it. When
Okay.
you take away work,
Yeah.
your career, which like 90% of people probably just have their job and whatever. Like they're not. I don't think most people do things they love. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're doing that. They're paying bills, things that like you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say that takes 30% of your mental time. Are people spending like over 70% of their mental time thinking about like I need to
It's
be
a
in
beautiful
a
question.
relationship?
It's a beautiful question.
Like, how do I get him? How do I get to this guy? How do
It's
I
a
get to
beautiful
this
question.
girl? How do I get married?
Well, that actually kind of works since you're single at the moment.
I'm
So
very much single.
okay. So how does that work?
That's a beautiful question, and thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
All right, come on, let's go.
So, all right. So it's a good question, and I say that because, our generation now, like the loneliness is like definitely a thing. Like it's a big thing that people really do struggle with, because we have social media, we have these music, like we have things that are telling us that these are the things that we need in order to feel fulfilled.
Right.
And when we don't have that, then it's like, okay, well, I'm not satisfied, or I don't have it. Like I have a lot of, people who I do speak on a daily basis where, I try to encourage that. It's like, you are good within yourself. Like, you are fulfilled within yourself. Like, you don't by all means necessary, like you should already be that before you meet anybody.
Okay.
Right.
And so, when you have, society makes it very hard nowadays.
Right.
So you see it all over the place. Billboards, whatever you, like, wherever you look, you see a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. And that's just like the normal, like, it's like, okay, it's normal. Like, I should be there.
Right.
And because they're not there, they're comparing themselves there. But then you have to ask yourself, like, you're not there. And I tell my girlfriends or my male friends, whatever, you're not there, but really look at yourself.
Right.
Are you really ready to give yourself fully to this person if that person were to be there with you? Or, right, if the person did present themselves, the person that is supposed to be for you presents themselves, will you be ready to receive it?
That's
because some people would, like, you'll cancel whatever you have for you just by how you are mentally, spiritual, whatever it is. You can stop yourself.
Look, I
Go
agree.
ahead.
I
understand.
100. That's what I said. I agree. I feel like, and it's hard to kind of chat about it, right? Because we met young and blah blah blah, and that's fine. I think what ends up happening is people are chasing an idea, right? And this idea is going to give them fulfillment, right? The happiness is going to come from a person. So once I meet the right person, I will be happy. Right. And then you meet people, you're going around meeting people. Oh, this person doesn't give me happiness. Okay, boom, you out. This person's not giving me happiness. Boom, you out. This person's now, like, you meet, boom, 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 boom. Right? You're on the 20th person, and 20th person is not giving you happiness. Right? And the thing is, I feel you keep seeking happiness in someone else, you're never going to really be happy.
Right.
Because what I was saying is like, damn, you ever notice how like older people, like they retirement age 60 or whatever, they start finding things they like
gardening and shit.
They actually enjoy it.
Right.
They go to museums.
Right.
They start knitting, or
Right.
they start. I don't want to like they do old shit, but they do like
Right.
stuff. But they do it because they enjoy it. It gives them joy, whether it's music, whatever, and they find like real fulfillment.
Right.
So when an older person tells me like I'm good, like I'm happy,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually
Are they in a relationship or are they
no,
single?
I've met older people who tell me that, and they are either married. I've met single people that tell me that.
Mhm.
I've met people who are getting together with people.
Mhm.
Shout out to someone.
Okay.
Edit that out. But like, I'm like, okay, cool. You're actually really happy, and then someone will be like, "Yo, I'm happy for the first time in my life."
Right.
Right.
Like
Yes.
Yes. I've gotten married.
Yes.
I've raised my kids. My kids are good.
Right.
They're like living their life, right? Now I'm happy because I can focus on me. And I'm like, damn, what would happen if people who don't have kids, that are,
Right.
single, whatever, if you actually did focus on yourself,
Right.
made yourself happy?
But here's the thing though. I
And I don't want to sound like it's like.
But I've been there.
But let me ask you
No,
something.
I was-
Let me say this though. What happens is that in the young part of your life,
Mm-hmm.
you're chasing too many things to find out exactly what makes you happy.
Right.
So the thought of happiness to you is the next nut. It's the next check. It's the next big deal. It's the next car, right? So that real fulfillment of happiness, self-happiness, you don't have that.
Damn, that's why they say youth is a cruel mistress.
No, but you said in your youth. Unfortunately, a lot of people that I know, like a lot of people, unfortunately, they could be in their older years and they're still thinking and processing the same exact way.
So you have to look at this other instance.
Okay.
This person's miserable. They never worked on that part. So they grew up with resentment this whole time.
But they may
now
not
you
say
get to
they're
the
miserable
older
yet.
they get to that older age. Now it's resentment. They're angry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then this is not for everybody though. You might still have some young people that know themselves, they're happy.
Yeah.
And the person that comes to them is somebody that complements their happiness. So now when they get together, look, they're together for a minute because everybody's happy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody's enjoying the moments and the good times.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, now that part's already set. You had the man, you got the kids, you got the career, whatever. Now, what makes you happy now is a simpler thing in life. you got the
Knitting,
you got the
crocheting.
knitting, you got the crochet, you got the gardening, you got the going to the wine tasting, by
I
yourself,
like a
and
good wine tasting now.
you like going to bingo, You take trips to Atlantic City, spend a couple racks, and then you come back, you good. You know what happiness means by yourself, and then.
But you know what? For myself, experiences that I went through helped me to find true happiness. It helped me to self-reflect, and because there were things that I was chasing, and I thought that this was the right thing to do.
Right.
As far as marriage, I've been married before.
Okay.
Okay, so when I get married, then everything's gonna change. Everything's gonna be
Right.
better.
Right.
And it was like a hell. Like it was hell.
Right.
So it was a complete opposite of what I expected for it to be.
Mm.
So my expectations were in the wrong places.
So you were married.
I was married
How long?
a year.
A year.
And it
No,
died quickly.
she was with him for 7 years.
For 7 years. I was with her for
Ah.
7 years, but married for a year.
So what changed within that 8-year period in 1 year, in that 1 year marriage?
To be honest, I'm still trying to understand what went wrong in that space.
Right.
Because you know what? Even so let's talk about this. Even in the relationship, and I'm gonna be very transparent because I believe that, whoever is looking at this, it can help them too.
Okay.
It does.
Because you always see the signs of things.
Okay.
And it's up to you to accept it or not. And I tell my girlfriends that all the time.
Mhm.
You always see something. And because you're so in love,
Right.
you just overlook it. Oh, girl, bye. He's just whatever, and you overlook it, and then it accumulates. And then when you get married, you think that everything's going to change,
Right.
Or you can possibly change a person, or you can make this person. But no, each person is their own person. He's his own person. You're your own person.
Right.
And we're trying to come together as one. So it's two different personalities, two different people, two different lifestyles that's trying to come as one individual.
Right.
Okay.
That's what it's trying to be. So long story short, knew the person for 7 years, and then here I am married, and it was complete, like the opposite of like shenanigan-ish fest came about. But I don't regret not one bit of it because it helped me to see me. And so I took a lot of accountability in the situation, in which it helped me to see, like, there were certain places in me that I wasn't completely like, you know, like maturity at.
Okay.
You know, so you have people like, cause that was one of, like, cause that was me. Oh yeah, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm talking the talk, but when it came out to walk the walk, I wasn't there yet to do that. And so my experiences that I went through helped me to properly walk the walk now. Now I can truly say, damn it, not only can I talk it, but I can also walk it, because I've been there, done that. And so a lot of young people too, like, you don't really know anything, you know, like you don't really know until you've actually been through it.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people, like when I was married, and dealing with the situation, and I would never issue on him, he was a great person. But when I was in that, no one was there to actually, you know, like the older people, like you get the basic, like, oh, you know, everything's, you know, just get married, everything's gonna be beautiful. But then you don't get the real, like, what do you do? Right. What do you do when this happens?
Right.
How old were you when you got married?
How old was I? This was Lord help. I was.
Once you hear that, it's like, it's not to get.
Yeah, I was 28 years old.
You were 20?
28.
28. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
So, I mean, what?
No, I thought it was like maybe like a early marriage.
No, but I've known him for a while.
Right, okay.
You know, for a while. Like my entire 20s, I was with this person.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to just learn things for myself. And like I said, I had, like, to me, I had to go through that in order to be this person who I am today. It helped me.
So let me say this though. I know a couple of people that they were with somebody for a long period of time, and at the end they got married because they felt like that was the right thing to do. Not that their heart was in it, but it was the right thing to do. Just because they had been together for so long. They're thinking about what their partner's parents are thinking about. You know, they got their own family saying like, look, you've been with this person for so long, why don't you just make it official? Right. So they're kind of like, they've been forced into it a little bit. So was that your situation?
Oh, absolutely not. You know, no.
So you guys talked about it, you married because you wanted to get married.
He asked me to get married. And on my end, there was no forcing. He asked me to get married. And like, definitely now, I would definitely do it differently. Like, differently. Meaning like...
Same person, but differently, or...
No, I wouldn't go back.
Okay.
I would never go back. And no shade, I'm not into that person, but I would never go back.
Okay.
You know, I learned my experiences. Like, you were there for a purpose in the season of my life, but that season and that purpose has passed. And so I take the purpose that came along with it, and I just move forward.
I think that's the issue that a lot of people have trouble understanding. You could be with somebody for a short period of time or a long period of time.
Right.
But there's always something to be learned around that period of time. Right. And people miss that. Right. So they stay hurt for a very long time. It's just after a breakup.
In their emotions.
They ruminate in a relationship that's no longer there, right?
Right, they do. And
you're sitting there thinking about it when you could have moved on already. Just took that as a lesson and not make the same mistakes in the next relationship. But you take that and it damages you.
Right.
You cluster yourself in a shell. Right. You're afraid to grow because you're afraid to make the same mistakes, or you don't want somebody else's mistakes to hurt you even more.
Right.
But they're in that space. So yeah, okay, you can leave that person, but you're recycling the same situation over and over again with different people, a different face, a different face.
That's a good point.
You know, but they're recycling the same habits, same situations, but it's a whole different face.
Now we're talking about people that keep dating the same type of people.
Right. You're attracting the same people.
Attracting the
because
same type
you have
of people.
yet to, because I move very differently now. You know, I know what I want.
Right.
So a person can ask me, Bianca, you're beautiful, right? Why are you still single? Because I know what I want.
Right.
And so if you come with me with BS, you're gonna, like, there's no, I don't speak to everybody.
Right.
You know, not every man can say that they have spoken to me or they got the opportunity to do so. Like, it is like the most humblest thing possible. Like, I just don't do it.
Right.
You know, like I don't do it. You know, I don't entertain a lot of people. I'm very like, you done? Respectfully.
Next.
Respectfully. Because it's just like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like, you know, because I got my, okay, I'm humble as possible. Right. If I'm coming with, like, if I'm already sitting at my own table.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If I'm already sitting at my own table, what do you got to say to me?
Right.
You know? And if you're coming to me, right? If a man is coming to me as a man, because there's people out here, they're, you know, they have dinglings and they're walking around, but they're not men. Right? They have it, but they're not men.
Right.
You know, they're just walking around. You know, they are not, you guys are not men.
Ooh.
Shots fired.
No, seriously.
But I think, that takes a level of self-awareness.
No, it does. It does.
It's not. Like, you got to call it what it is. It's so, I mean, like, the way that my generation and the ones that are, like, the way that these men are nowadays, I don't even deal with people who are even, like, the way that my mental is, like, I don't even deal with people who are at my, like, age level. Because it's like, what do you got to say to me? It's a lot of BS. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't, like, what? What do you got to say to me? Mm-hmm. You know, like, a lot of people, like, they don't know where they're going. Like, they're just trying to figure things out. And, like, you know, if you've been there, done that already, like, yo, what are we talking about?
So you're not trying to repeat the same cycle?
No, I'm not repeating cycles.
So you're not putting a different face on the same shit?
Repeating cycles. Do I look cyclish to you? I mean, no, but this is like, but you have to come with this kind of energy. And any woman that I encounter with, young lady, older lady, I try to give that same to them because, you know, we're such a precious thing. Right. Women are so and men are too. But because you don't know your actual value, right, you degrade yourself for whatever it is that just comes towards you. So if I was coming, you know, don't get me wrong, men come to my DM. Men come to my DM. People say, oh my gosh, she's so, you know, they come at me. But if I entertained every person that came at me, who would I be? You know, where would I be? Like, what status would I keep myself at? You know? You have to hold yourself to a certain degree so that man or that woman can come to you respectfully.
Right, girl.
But if you ain't coming to me respectfully, honey boo boo, ain't happening. I'm telling you this right now. And people will look at you like, who do you think she is?
No.
You have to look at yourself. And I teach my son this. You know, like, you're Marie. You are goddamn Marie. And that's the end of that. I'm Bianca. And that's the end of that.
And I'm Gene, by the way.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
But did you hear what Bianca said?
Right.
She says, I hold myself to a value.
Yeah.
And so that's what ends up happening. Like, I think people don't understand that a lot of people don't value themselves, right? A lot of people are walking around with masks and facades.
Right.
Facades of strength, facades of money,
right,
facades of whatever. Like, whatever facade it is that's getting you through the day and getting you through your life, that's the one you're carrying. Whether you being macho, whether you being sultry, whether you being like, oh God, like whatever.
But that gets exhausting though.
No, but you understand. But if you don't value yourself, right, it's very hard for somebody else to value you. And that's what happens.
They see for that surface
they don't even see
value.
it. It's not even them. Because what happens is, when you value yourself and you see yourself a certain way, somebody comes at you left, it's not even a thing.
No, it's not.
You're like not even moved by it. Like, it doesn't even move me because you don't even exist.
Right.
To me.
Right.
Respectfully. Like, you don't. Like, you understand? You don't you don't even orbit around me.
Right.
So what do you think happens? That person just disappears. But what ends up occurring, women who don't value themselves, they end up attracting these bozos who can see that.
Right.
And like, you know, you're trying to make the connection of like you're trying to make the connection that you should value yourself. But for whatever reason, you can't make that connection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The wires aren't connecting. It's like you see it and you understand it. But until you actually live it and you believe it, nobody else around you does either.
And at that point, the energy that you put out is what you're attracting.
There are people who know, like, you cannot talk to me. Like, not, like, you can just, you, like, you just can't.
Right.
You can't come to me crazy.
Right.
And
Right.
it's not a matter of like, oh, I feel like I'm above.
Yeah,
It's not.
No.
I'm a very humble person.
Right.
But I value myself
Right.
to a level of no other.
Right.
Like, I truly do. So you already know it's
Right.
not a possibility.
Right.
And I've always been that way.
Right. And people can't handle that. And whatever that you can't handle, that's that's not on me. It's not on me. I'm very like you mentioned, I'm very humble. I was brought up very humble. And that's just it was never me. I've always had that confidence. And I went through a season in my life where I lost that. I lost that dealing in a situation where a person didn't know themselves. And it took a lot out of me.
And when you love someone, you will.
Yes, it took a lot out of me, and I started chasing things. I'm like, wait a minute, Bianca. It took 7 years for me to get out of it.
Wow.
And say, Bianca, but it was so hard. It was so hard, to just get that confidence back that I was naturally just born with. It was always there. Don't get me wrong. I always talk the talk, or I always did what I had to do, right? But I knew it was there, but I was constantly trying to like just grasp it, but I just couldn't get a good hold on it. So I understand those girls who, the confidence, they lost it, or they can't seem to find it, and then they're just kind of trying to grab onto it. 7 years of doing that, and I finally came out of it, and I'm here like, it can be done.
Do you think it was 7 years too long?
7 years too long, absolutely. And no, you know what, 7 years too long, but at that time, I can't put I couldn't put a time limit on that. Cause it was very, very hard. And even when the person tried to it was so hard. It's more so of an internal thing that had to happen within me. Hey, you're beautiful. I had to believe that for myself again. You could say it to me 1,000 times, but to me, I had to believe it within myself again.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Because when you break that, for girls, it's so hard, especially with social media nowadays. It's so much comparisons. You got the filters. You got, I can't post this until you have to have every little thing in check. I don't be on social media. It's a lot of flex. It's a lot of shenanigans, flexes. I'm not one to just flex. I'm not one to put put stuff out there. I don't care about that. I'm real life. This is real life. For real. Anybody who knows me, if I walk into a room, it's real life. I'm coming with that energy.
Right.
I'm coming with that energy, and some people, it may intimidate them, but that's just who I am, and I will no longer down myself to accommodate you. And so I was never so when the guys would hit up my DM, I was never disrespectful. I will always be a pleasant, and even when I wasn't in that space mentally to receive, you got to be self-aware. If I wasn't ready to receive or enter into a situation, I never was the one to talk to a man just because I was lonely.
Right.
So if I wasn't ready to go into something with someone, then I'll just say, you know what? Thank you for your compliments, whatever. But during this time, I'm not in the space.
It's not the right time for us right now.
And so, I'm not in the space for that right now.
But that brings a good transition.
Okay.
Of how do you deal with the fragile male ego? And I feel like that's what happens. A lot of men have a fragile ego. Yeah. They do. And I feel like what ends up happening is they act out in aggression.
Yeah. But the way that I care, I'm a very sensitive person. And I care
about their feelings.
People. I do care about everyone's feelings. As energy, as much energy as I come out with, I do care about people's feelings. And so I know it takes a lot out of a man. Whatever.
To get rejected?
Yeah. When a man, no, you're laughing.
I mean, I agree with it to some extent
a lot of men themselves out there.
A lot of men, they're not. Some of them may not even look the look. They may not have whatever,
so
but they're coming at you. I see those things. I acknowledge that you came to me. Right?
After you mustered up all the strength.
You mustered up all the strength that comes from.
And it's probably the second time you saw you.
Right. And then some of them are consistent with it. Good morning, beautiful. Consistent. Consistent. But I'll just
Shout out to Lonnie.
It's
blocked.
It's like I acknowledge that. Thank you. You seem and I say that, you seem like a very nice guy. But right now, this is not
but
what
see,
it is for me.
that's fine. You see
and
the
they
way...
and they accept it. Like they're not like they're like
No, they're not. No, there's nothing to be aggressive about.
Yeah, like I feel bad for certain
But let's
people.
just. How about the guy that his emotions are running wild, like running rampant, and
he's emotionally dysregulated.
And his ego's fragile.
I was just saying, it's like, listen, I'm a very empathic person. I'm very sensitive to people's like energies and like not to be like whatever. I am like when somebody's hurting, I don't like to see people in pain. I don't like to see people suffering. And what I learned is that is really emotionally exhausting for me.
Right. You know it is.
It is a very emotionally exhausting state to be in when you're very aware of people around you and what they're feeling and their whatever it is. So in what I had to really understand is a lot of things are not my responsibility.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not my responsibility.
Right.
If you slide into my DM and you putting all your, oh my God, like, no. You know what I mean?
How do you spell?
And you're putting all that intensity, like, I'm shooting my shot with all my, like, dude, I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliment. That's fine.
Right.
That's not my responsibility.
Right. So you'll just leave it you'll just leave it read. Like, you'll just read the message and just leave it there.
No, I probably won't even read the message. It is not my responsibility.
So let's just say you're in a relationship.
And that's not cold. It's not my response. I'm not responsible for that. And by the way, you will be fine.
Right.
So let's just say you're going out with somebody. Let's just say 2 years. You guys break up. Now this person is stalking you, right? Constantly wants to get back with you, but again, we're talking about the fragile male ego. Now it's becoming an annoyance. Are you looking at do you look at that as like attention, or especially if you're not telling the person like really like this is over? If you keep entertaining this person's how would you say
shenanigans, because that's what it is,
right?
And I don't entertain that.
Because
when I'm done with you, I'm done with you. And you will not get, like, any man that I have ever dealt with, and it's on one hand, boo. Any man... any man that I have ever dealt with knows that he can't play that with me. You know, so a man knows what he can do and what he cannot do with you. And so I've never encountered that because I've never given that to a man. I've never given him that space to do so. It's either you in or you out.
Big fact.
And so there's no calling me, there's no stalking me, because if you do that, there will be a problem. Because we came to an agreement that we're not going to be together.
Right.
So I'm not understanding why you're calling me.
But what if that person feels like there was no agreement, you just left?
No, because you have to understand the only reason why the person is doing that is because the person that they're dealing with is allowing that. That other person is feeding off of whatever that person is giving to them. Okay, this is something, you know, something's happening.
It's a codependency.
But if you have a person like me that just kind of like this automatically, the person knows who you are. They have no space, and they know for a fact if you were to come back to deal with me again, you would want to have to walk like Haitians say SS. Okay, you're gonna have to walk SS. Okay.
Okay.
Seriously. Because you have to understand, like, you know, to deal with her again, I can't come at her in any kind of way.
Right.
Men, like, you got to understand. You know, but if that other guy that's sitting coming at you crazy and he's pulling up and he calling you, excuse you, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And the reason why that's happening to that chick or that man is because they allow it and they're feeding off of it in some sick way. The girl is, like, she's, like, getting some kind of, like, whatever out of it. She loved that attention from it. And vice versa. That attention from it, yo, like, they, you know, like, you don't know what they had going on, but that attention, like, it just feeds them.
But when does the attention stop? Because that person could go beyond at any point. They might say reckless things. They might threaten you. They might threaten your family, right? Or, you know, they might try to damage some of your goods. When does it? How does that? And when does that stop?
Unfortunately, like that's it's that other person, like that female or that male, like it's within themselves. Like there's no until that person gets right, because it's their feeling. That's why I don't get involved And like, I can give you advice.
Mm-hmm.
I can, hey boo, don't, like, hey. But at the end of the day, I still know, and I keep myself, be realistic. You're gonna do whatever that you want to do.
This is true.
That's a fact.
If I see you with Quan or whomever, shout out to Quan. I don't,
She don't know no.
No, I don't know Quan.
I know one, but he's nowhere.
But if I see you with Thomas, whomever,
okay,
shout out to Thomas. If I see you with them again, because I know you already,
right.
So it doesn't catch me by surprise.
Oh yeah, like I'm like,
girl,
I don't get myself involved. No, I agree. I don't get myself involved. Like I think I'm a person that I'm a person that is like. And I think again, it's like the background, human behavior. When you pathologize people, everything comes from something. Every behavior, nothing is new under the sun. Like you can actually really pattern human behavior. Like if you put a person and you put trauma, you put these things, this is more likely this to happen. Right. So I feel like I'm very compassionate and understanding of why people do things that they do. Mm-hmm. And so I try to be very understanding.
To a certain degree.
No, I agree. To a certain degree. Like to me, ultimately, I'm big on that responsibility piece of it. Like no matter what happens to you, because I heard that a long time ago and it stayed with me. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it is like, okay, some things happen to you. Right. A lot of bad things happen to you. Or things happen to you. Right. But whose responsibility is it? Right. Right? And so that had a real bad, like a big impact on me because I was like, damn, like, okay, because I think a lot of people make things their story. Right. Things happen to them, traumas occur to them, and like, you don't get it because this happened to me. This experience happened to me, and this shaped my life. But you don't get it because you didn't experience that. Right. So don't judge me. Right. And it's like, I'm not judging you. Right? I'm really not. But you chose to make that your story. Right. You made that your narrative. Right. And I understand whatever happened to you really wasn't your fault. But it was your responsibility, let's say, as an adult. Because I think there comes a point where we become self-aware. We become aware of whatever we're doing in life isn't working. Because you know why? We're not happy. We don't feel content. We don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel joy. We know this exists. People know joy exists, happiness, contentment. We know it. It's not a ideology. It's something that really exists because we know people in our lives that are really happy. Fully. They ain't faking it. They're actually happy. So if you aren't experiencing that, it's not something that's not attainable. It is attainable. Now, what differentiates me from you or someone else is I'm willing to do the work. Right. I'm willing because like I want to be happy. I want to feel
regardless of what happened.
Listen to you. I want to feel joy, contentment, happiness, light of heartness.
What if no one? But you know that there's people that never experienced joy.
No, I know, but we know it exists. Right. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, like you've gone. Listen, I know more than most. The muck of it. Right. But what I'm saying is, as an adult, this is not children. Right. Like when you get to an adult stage, and it's a spectrum. It's not linear because everyone is different. Everybody's journey is different. Let's talk about it. It's very different because you have people that are in so much muck and trauma and pain. It's very hard. And like when I tell you they come out of it, it is like the most beautiful. It's like a phoenix. Right. It is the most beautiful. Right. And then you have people like who have challenges and everybody's resiliency is different, whatever. But what I'm saying is there comes a point in your life that if you're lucky enough to become self-aware, it's like Robert Frost said, there's a path in the road and you have to choose which way you're going to go. Right. So it's like, okay, I can choose the familiarity because my body and my soul and my consciousness is used to what I've been doing for the last 35 years, the last 30 years. Or, the known is this. Right. Like, I'm miserable, I fake the funk, I flex, but in my soul, I'm like the most miserable person. Right. And the unknown path is there's a possibility of joy. most people have a hard time choosing joy.
Yeah.
Choosing that path, because that path isn't
rough.
easy.
It's rough.
You gotta go through and you gotta do the work, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be raw. It's gonna be a lot of things where you gotta come to terms with it and be like, that's okay. Shit don't always turn out the way you think.
Right.
However, like, to me, regardless, you gotta make a choice.
Right.
And the thing is, a lot of people choose what's easy.
Right.
You like, people like to do what's familiar. You know why? Because on a neurological, on a physiological standpoint, it works.
Right.
Your body, chemical reactions that happen to you when you think about an experience, like, your body feeds on it.
Right.
Your body actually feeds on that shit. So could you imagine if you're like, okay, today I'm going to start meditating and I'm going to do things different. You gotta be like, bitch, you better give me my drug.
Right.
So
But
it's hard.
you have to understand, most importantly,
It's true.
seriously,
Your body's gonna be like, you better give me that hit.
Where the drugs at though? What's the meditation?
Right. Most importantly, we have to understand, like you said, that they make that their story. But you have to understand that stories have chapters.
Yeah.
Okay? And so within those, like, at some point, you're supposed to switch into the next chapter. So now you have people that come into your life that tries to pull you into the next chapter, and then you just resist them. Because you don't know how to receive it.
Speak on
And I've been there before. Because you don't know how, because you've been so, like, you're so familiar with certain ways of life.
Yes.
Whether it be, your family. You never experienced that true love. So when people come into your life and they're giving you that, you don't know how to experience it.
Right.
I mean, like, to receive. I mean, you don't know how to receive it. And
Yep.
so, like, I've been there before where I was feeling joy and I was feeling peace, and I didn't even identify that. I kid you not. Like, I had to tell my girlfriend, what is this? Like, what's happening? And she said, you know, Bianca, that's peace. I didn't know that because I was going through it so much.
Wow.
That's how deep it can get. Like, I get it. Like, you know, a person can come into your life so many times and say, do X, Y, and Z. But if you just, like, you got, like, family is a big factor.
Right.
People who you surround yourself with. I don't have a lot of people friends like that. I keep it very low, numbered. I do not associate with a lot of people. I pop in and I pop out here and there. I'm kid you not. You can see me for this, here, and then a couple of years later, you're like, well, where the hell did she go?
Big facts. It's like, Bianca, where you
Seriously. But I don't, like, I have to protect I have to protect me. And I have to protect it. Because I've been there, done that before. Like, I did not know I was experiencing peace. I did not know that I was experiencing joy. And when a person comes into my life and they're giving me this positive, like, I'm not used to that. I don't know, like, your natural reaction is to back up.
Right.
Fight it. You're
fight
resisting it, huh?
Because it's foreign to you.
It is.
And if you have that right person or that right friend, whomever, that therapist, whatever it can be, shout out to therapists because they're great. If you have if you have that proper person, then they can help to pull you out of you. But you have to be first willing.
Big facts.
If you're not willing, then it will never happen for you. And I tell anybody, I can give you as much advice. I can sit here with you and talk to you. But if you're not willing, then there's nothing that I can do for you.
I don't give advice.
You have to be willing. But most importantly, your story had the chapter, and you have to be willing. People be moving forward. Like, even after this podcast today, like, pay attention to every person out of your life. I believe in purpose.
Right.
And then to me, like, I believe in feed who feeds you. If you're inside of my life as a friend or whomever, I call you that, then you're feeding me something. I'm feeding you, like, we're like I'm benefiting off of it. You're benefiting off of it. If I'm not benefiting from this, I don't have, like, there's nothing that we can, like,
So as friends, you need to grow with each other.
You have to we're getting older. Come on now.
Right.
You need to be benefiting from this relationship, this friendship.
Right.
If I'm not benefiting from it, if you're constantly giving but you're not being fed yourself,
right.
Why am I can give it to you, but I know my limit.
Okay.
I know that I'm here and this is my purpose to give.
Right.
But I know that I'm not gonna put myself like
You're not gonna keep pouring.
Right.
And not yeah.
I can pour to this person, for example, right? But I won't so in my mind, in my spirit, like, I know that I'm not here to receive from her. I'm here to only give.
Right.
So that expectation, I already, like, knocked that out.
So that means that relationship runs its course after a while.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Because she's gonna get what she needs and she's gonna move forward and help the next person.
Oh, okay.
Each thing is perfect. Like, it's like, I don't, you know, like, I don't, like, everybody that comes in, pay attention. Pay attention. You know, what purpose does this person have? You know, is this just the same face, like a different face, but the same characteristics?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why I'm so like, what are you here for? And who sent you? That's how I am, yo. It is what it is.
It's me,
it is what it is. Yo, it is what it is. Seriously, it is what it is. Okay. And so, you know, and if you can't handle it, then it is what it is. Because sometimes I can't handle myself.
Oh shit.
I'm being honest. This is real life.
By the way, we charge a rate of $45 an hour. So.
This is real life. This is real life.
Seriously. I love it.
You know what? I think we're good. I think on this note, you said what you said. You said what you said, and I did a lot of listening. But you know what? It's beautiful this way, though, because you get to learn things. Sometimes, you know, it's best to just be quiet and listen. They tell you, smart people listen. Stupid people have to say something. So try not to be the other person. All right? On that note,
I'm feeling so good.
Right. But let me say something to these women out here and these men. Seriously.
One more word.
And I'm giving this positive energy to these people.
Okay.
I'm
not
serious.
Expecting anything back.
I don't. That's the great point. I don't expect anything back. But most importantly, I always try to leave like that positive, like, you know, just like you could be the same, like that same strong energy that I give off. You too can be the same exact way. And it's all about self-awareness. Sticking to what you want, and like sticking to who you like, what you want, and who you are as a person. No, not who you are as a person, because there's some changes that need to be happening. But you know, as long as you stand by what you want, as far as, you know, your aspirations, whatever the case is, then anything is possible.
And also, happiness doesn't start with somebody else. It starts
absolutely
with you.
Not.
It starts with you.
Yeah, and you would never find happiness in anybody else until you identify within yourself first.
Facts. I'm your host, Ajax.
Cheers.
This is my co-host for today, Mrs. Ajax, and we have our guest, Bianca. And what's your IG? What's your tag?
Unforgettable_B.
Unforgettable_B. Holla.